So yeah, this little sample we have here, I mean I can't do this quickly, so like if you guys have got somewhere to go, I'm sorry you're just going to be late. That was a 5-minute presentation we did there, okay, so this is going to take a bit of time. I brought this with me just, there's just a small bottle, I think we're going to finish it here, but I brought this from Isla because it's, you know, just to say thank you for coming and kind of supporting us and what we do, so it's nice to be able to give you guys something that we're working on, something that is probably the worst kept secret on Isla, where this sample of spirit is a rye whiskey. Isla rye whiskey. So this is a really interesting thing for those of you who are interested in farming. That's everybody in the room.
Yeah, we have 2 farm girls right here.
Excellent. Well, the great thing about what we do at Bruichladdich, when I talk about our relationship with farmers, is that we're not just producing spirit. Our journey starts right at the very beginning, you know, before the seed goes in the ground. So we learn a lot. And my position as head distiller is great because I can literally, you know, speak to the farmers and the coopers and the maltsters and everybody involved in making whiskey so that I can understand it better. One of the really interesting things about growing barley, particularly in Isla, is that if you grow barley in the soil year after year after year, you're drawing nutrients away and you need to replenish those, and the best way to grow crops is a rotational cycle, so you're planting crops that put back into the soil. So what we want to do is you know, for our Isla farmers is to work with them so that they are able to create crops or grow crops that have value. Because if you grow barley once every 5 years, well, that's once every 5 years. How can you get a crop the other years when you're rotating? You could grow carrots, but you grow carrots on Isla, you then export them off the island, they become too expensive, doesn't work. The logistics in it don't work. So we can be part of the solution. You know, if we are just part of the problem and ask the farmers to grow for us, and they are putting more chemicals on, more nutrients on the soil each year that they're buying in, there's more input costs for them, it's not good for the soil, it's not good for rotation. And looking at how we could help this, we came across the idea of growing rye, because that will be a good rotational crop. It will put nutrients back to the soil that barley can use. It's part of a healthy rotation. And we thought, well, we can make whiskey out of barley, we can make whiskey out of rye, how difficult can it be? Turns out quite difficult. But we did it in partnership with one of our farmers, a guy called Andrew Jones, who's like me in his early 20s. But he's a young guy, and he's taken over the farm from his father, and he's interested in you know diversifying it and doing more things and being a better farmer, learning new things. So Andrew in 2017 planted some rye. In December we distilled it, we blended it. It's about 55% rye with 45% Isla grown barley, so it's 100% Isla cereal. We distilled it. We did this. I don't know how many Remy Quattro employees are in the room, 1 or 2. We did this without telling anyone, so nobody knew. So Alan, the production director, and myself worked with Andrew to do this. We distilled it, and then we went to the Remy Quattro guys and said, look what we did. Taste this, it's really cool. And they loved it, and of course we were going to do it, but they loved it a lot because we believe in it. But we did this because we can, because we're interested in trying new things. We're not just going to do the same things all the time. It was a fascinating experience to be able to distill, because we've been making whiskey at Bruichladdich for 138 years, on and off. So we know day in, day out how to run that machinery, how to make whiskey, how to get the best from the barley. And with rye, we knew it was going to be very, very different, but let's try it, let's see how it goes. And so we had an idea, we did research, we talked to other distillers, which is very interesting in itself, and we had an idea of what we would do. And we tried it. So myself, I have an assistant called Gordon, who's basically kind of runs the day-to-day of the distillery. And Gordon and I decided we're going to do 12-hour shifts, shadow the mashman and the stillman, so we'll go back on shift and we'll learn and we'll see and we'll help, and rather just leave the guys to it. And so on Sunday night we started mashing. And usually a mash of 7 tons of barley would take us 9 hours. Well, we were only doing 4.5 tons of rye and barley, so we thought that would be quite quick. So we went in on Sunday, and it was 10 o'clock Sunday night, mash went in, everything went fine, really happy, And I went home, slept for 8 hours, came back in at 6 o'clock, and they were still on draining the first water, which should have been done after like 2 hours. So it created a lot of problems, you know, the way that the grain sat in the mash tun, the way the water didn't drain. So it was really interesting to have to completely reinvent how to make whiskey with Victorian equipment to be able to produce something. And then as we managed to develop a way to do it, we only had enough to do 5 mashes, very, very small. But we created something, we distilled it, and there was an amazing moment where I was again on the stills when the first spirit ran, because I wanted to be there to make sure we could take the cuts and get the spirit, the flavour profile right. And there was a guy who was running the stills called, he's called Duncan McFadgen, we call him the Budgie, because he just talks all the time. So once you get him start talking, he just doesn't stop. So Budgie was there. Budgie's been he's been working at the distillery for 30 years, distilling for 30 years. And obviously I trained, Budgie taught me how to run the stills, and obviously we've been making whiskey together for a long time now. And on Islay, we're not doing anything new making whiskey. There's been whiskey made on Islay for hundreds of years. And yet there was a moment at about 3 o'clock in the morning, on a Thursday morning, where Budgie and I were doing something that nobody else had done on Ireland, which was distilling a rye whiskey. And that gave me huge pleasure, Budgie huge pleasure to be able to create history. This year we've grown some more. Andrew has grown some more rye for us. We will distill it in December. We didn't distill any last year because we couldn't get seed in time to get it in the ground. So again, the vagaries of how these things work. This is a unique distillation of spirit produced on Islay, with barley and rye raised on Islay, made by Islay people. So for me to be able to stand here with a small sample of this on the other side of the world, I mean, if I go any further away, I actually start coming back home again. So it's a really, really amazing thing. So you are tasting a rye whiskey which was distilled in December 2017. So it is it's approaching 2 years old. The spirit came off the still at 70% alcohol. It's filled into casks. This is virgin oak casks again. This is American oak, but it was the casks were built in France. They are not toasted. Sorry, they are not charred. The traditional way, they are not charred. They are only toasted. Again, quite heavy toast to bring fruit, to bring roundness. And by nosing, and tasting that, you get that lovely peppery, kind of licorice flavours coming through from the rye. We don't know when we'll bottle this, we don't know what we'll call this, we don't know what this is going to be, but it's an amazing thing to be able to produce it, to be able to explore. And at the heart of it, it's not about doing something that's going to be another product on the shelf, it's about helping the community of farmers we have to be able to sustain what it is we want to do. We have to be part of the solution, we have to be part of the conversation and be involved in the ground.